Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the SECO District 3 meeting. Nice to see that we had so many people here tonight in this weather. Coming from Pennsylvania, I thought I left it all behind. I guess not. Since I've been here 8 years, I think this is the coldest weather I've seen. It's cold. I used to be used to that. I guess I'm not anymore. For those who don't know me, I'm Jerry Anderson. I'm the Vice President of the Trustees, and I'm also the trustee for SECO District 3. So if you'll please stand and join me, Mike Muffett, our District 6 trustee, is going to give us a prayer and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, Mike.
Let us pray. Father, how grateful we are for the traveling mercy that you showed us to get here safely tonight. We thank you for all the ones that came out tonight and voted. And we thank you for our workers that work so hard and they put their lives in danger many times. We ask you that you would watch over them and protect them, give them health benefits through their families and through their friends and neighbors, that we can all work together to be one and helping each other in trying times. We thank you for SECO Energy and all the things that we accomplish by working together and providing people with a better life. Father, as we go through this meeting tonight, we pray that you would watch over us and bless us and enable us to glorify you in what we do. Then we ask you, Father, to give us traveling mercies as we go home. And we thank you for all of that in Jesus' name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Before I introduce all the trustees, I just want to take a minute and say, I want to thank all of our SECO employees that are here tonight and put up with the foul weather out there and the rain. I was out for a while when it's cold. They not only work hard to keep your lights on, but they also do all this for us, and we appreciate it. Thank you very much, everyone. So at this time, I'd like to introduce the Board of Trustees. I have Richard Dennison, our president. He's joined by his wife, Suzanne. As I mentioned, I'm Jerry Anderson from District 3. My wife, lovely wife Jane, is here with us tonight. Next, we have our Secretary Treasurer from District 2, Joyce Anderson. No relation that I know of. From District 1, we have Scott Boyette. Scott's wife, Rebecca. Again, Mike Moffett from District 6. And his wife, Irene. We have Joe Kuziak from District 7. And his wife, Carmen. Bill James from District 8. Morgan Hatfield from District 9. It's also my pleasure tonight to introduce our new CEO, Curtis Wynn. Curtis joined us in December, and so we're very pleased with Curtis. Has big shoes to fill after Jim Duncan is being with SECO for 42 years. We have our attorney with us, Scott Gherkin. And one more thing, I want to take a second and acknowledge our executive administrative assistant, Nora Brown, who probably has the toughest job in the room, trying to keep all 9 of us on the same page. And she does a wonderful job doing that. Thank you, Nora. At this time, I would like to turn the meeting over to our solicitor, Mr. Gherkin, to be the chairman of the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. As I've said before, I do appreciate this meeting. It's the only time the lawyer ever gets an applause. So even though it's a little bit coerced, I appreciate that. Couple things. It is an honor and a pleasure to chair your District 3 meeting this evening. A few housekeeping things just to go through before we get to the meat of the meeting. The first being we are required to appoint a recording secretary. As she has done many times before, I would like to appoint Nora Brown if she's willing to accept that job, and she is. Thank you, Nora, for doing so. Secondly, I do not see anyone in line to vote, and I assume we're good outside as well. Good, we got a thumbs up from Tim. Thank you. So I will, without further ado, close the registration for this evening. The third item, I will note for the record that we have well surpassed the required quorum so that the election will be valid this evening and to elect your trustee for the next 3-year term. And with that, getting those three things out of the way, I will welcome up to the podium our Secretary Treasurer of the Board, Ms. Joyce Anderson, to announce the certified candidates.
In accordance with Article 3, Section G, Paragraph 2 of the bylaws of Sumter Electric Cooperative, Inc., the following members are certified as nominee for trustee for District Number 3. First one is Gerald B. Anderson, 1676 Norfolk Avenue, The Villages, Florida, 32162. Second is Hamilton S. McLean, 521 San Pedro Drive, The Villages, Florida, 32162. And those are the two nominees tonight. I'll hand it back over to Mr. Gherkin.
With your two candidates certified, I will, even though the voting is over, I will explain a little bit about the election process. SECO, Sumter Electric Cooperative, is a cooperative, as is in the name, that meaning that every member has a vote. One member, one vote. It is a very democratic system, and we are divided into 9 districts, this district being the 3rd district. We have gone ahead, in the old days we would have a big voting box, but we've gone electronic now, and as you notice, that does allow us to do the drive-through voting as well as anyone that wishes to vote inside. We've calculated all those votes together. I have not yet gotten the results, but we'll do so a little later and announce your elected trustee for the next 3-year term. My next job this evening is to invite our CEO up to the podium. As Mr. Anderson said, we are very happy to have Mr. Wynn join us. He has served, prior to coming to SECO, he was a CEO of a cooperative for a few decades before joining SECO. He also, among many other accomplishments, served as president of the NRECA, which is the highest group within the electric cooperative business. So we're happy that he brings his talents here to our area and to serve you and all of our members. And without anything further, I will welcome him to the podium. Thank you, Curtis.
Thank you, Mr. Gherkin. I appreciate the introduction. And good evening. I want to join others who have welcomed you tonight and thank you for attending tonight's District 3 meeting. As has already been said, I am honored to be here tonight in the Villages as the new CEO of SECO Energy. I joined SECO officially on December 15th, and I appreciate the Board of Trustees for providing me with the opportunity to serve you, the members of our growing and quite dynamic not-for-profit cooperative. In the 3 years since District 3 members gathered to vote for a trustee, and the year that Mr. Anderson, Trustee Jerry Anderson, was elected, SECO has been on a very fast growth pace while operating with very strong fiscal responsibility. Now, this growth is occurring in both in all three areas. We call them the residential area, the commercial area, as well as the industrial sectors. With the number of residents that are coming to Florida and the number of businesses that are moving here, it is very likely that the expansion that we've been seeing and the growing demand for power that we've been seeing will be with us for a long time. And over the last year, this district, District 3, has added 499 new services. At the end of the year, we served 42,055 members right here in District 3. Now, with the significant growth across the villages and other parts of our service territory comes responsibility, expansion responsibility, and the responsibility to meet the demand that expansion brings about. Not only to bring on new customers or new members, we also have the responsibility to maintain our existing system and make sure we preserve that reliability that you, our dedicated members, deserve. I'll give you a rundown on some of the things that are happening. Here in District 3, the Dallas Substation is being not just upgraded, but it's also being completely rebuilt. Now, this substation will provide multiple redundant sources of electricity to serve District 3 members. This new substation that we're designing will increase service options and provide overall flexibility and reliability to the members served in this area. Now, though the substation provides service largely to the communities of Dallas and Summerfield, various circuits will provide primary as well as backup power for members who live here in the villages. The upgraded substation is expected to be online and up and operating by June of this year. Now, District 3 is a busy place for new construction. There are 15 different ongoing projects in all stages of development happening right here. I want to run these down for you. The Keys of Wildwood Phase 2 and the Villas of Wildwood are both proposed single-family residential subdivisions, and these are in the planning and zoning stages. In the Belmont community, we have the Belmont Community Development District. A site plan was approved for commercial development along County Road 466A that includes restaurants, a hotel, and also retail space. In Belmont Phase 3, a Seco Energy recently completed electric infrastructure installation for another 57 residential lots. Also, in the Belmont area, a self-storage unit is in our engineering design stage for a 100,000 square foot facility that's being erected there. At Trailwoods Village, a nursing center has been approved by the city of Wildwood. Seco is awaiting those plans and is in the design phase for a new Culver's restaurant at Sundance Trail North. And that again is at 466A. Our engineering department has also been working to help design the electric service on a 7,000 square foot retail building in the Finney Professional Plaza. In Lady Lake's Lewin Park area on 466, again, our engineering group just completed design for an assisted living facility of 160 units. An adhesive plant is in the works on 82nd Avenue and west of County Road 127. In that same area, engineering has just completed the electric service design of a 170,000 square foot building. Near the corner of Buena Vista and Parr, a proposed 2,300 square foot facility for a new Sprouts grocery store is in the works. A new community called Wildwood Cottages is also in the development near County Road 134 and 426. The design calls for 70 rental units, a clubhouse, pool, dog park, and a community garden. Now, these units, by the way, have no age restrictions for those. Also in Wildwood, there's a senior assisted living facility on County Road 472 on Northeast 52nd with 132 units in the design phase. And lastly, in the Pebble Springs retirement community east of County Road 466 and north of 62nd Terrace, engineering has completed the design for a community building totaling almost 200 square feet. That job has also recently been released for construction of the electric infrastructure that will feed it. Now, I know that's a very long list, 15, but it helps me to emphasize something for you. I'm wanting to emphasize just how busy SECO is helping to keep up with all of the new growth that's happening right here in this area. And at the same time, while that growth is being handled, we're continuing to maintain our existing infrastructure to serve you, our members, the ones who are already members. Now, I want to acknowledge something here, and that some of you here tonight, you may be served from Lake Ella on what we call Feeder 4. And if you are here and you live in that area, you experienced a lengthy outage on the morning of Wednesday, January 12th, a day many of us definitely remember, especially John LaSelva. All 4,000 members affected were sent a letter of apology and explanation for the inconsistent service that those Lake Ella members have received over the last few months. I just want to personally stand in front of you as your new CEO and offer our apologies again. You may be asking, well, new CEO, you've offered your apology, but what are you going to do about it? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because we made about $2 million, this has already happened, $2 million of investment in replacing the cabinets, conductor, and other components to the feeder over the last couple of years. Another more recent improvement is involving about $1.3 million of investment that began just a few weeks ago to replace the entire section of conductor where the lengthy outage was caused early last month. Now, I'm hopeful that you can tell by our proactive efforts to not only identify the issues, but to make significant financial investments to mitigate the causes of those issues. I hope those actions demonstrate our commitment to minimize future reoccurrence of interruptions to your electric service. Furthermore, let me also assure you that your Board of Trustees, the ones who were introduced to you earlier, are fully supportive of these investments. They continue to make the mitigation of those problems like what we saw on Feeder 4 a priority. And we're also making sure that that infrastructure is fixed. But not only just on Feeder 4, but that happens anywhere we have service interruptions or repeated service interruptions. It's not the way we like to do business, and we always try to make it up and make it better when that happens. So please know that we're very serious about bringing you reliable service when we have problems. Now, I believe, going back to the Feeder 4, that the ongoing work to replace that last section of cable is going to solve the problem. It's going to be the answer we need to garner the level of reliability that you as members expect and you also deserve. Now, we've talked about reliability, system improvements, and how we manage that, as well as the number of developments that are in the works. But it may also be of interest to you to know that District 3 has 408 member-owned solar installations. Now, across all 7 of our counties that we serve, SECO has nearly 3,000 solar arrays, and that number is increasing on a daily basis. Now, if you're interested in investing in solar for your home or your business, just know that we at SECO employ energy services specialists who will consult with you and help you determine if your home or your business is well suited for solar production. All you have to do is just send us an email at solar@secoenergy.com. That's solar@secoenergy.com, or just give us a call. But I want you to beware as members that there are scams and there are frauds that are running rampant in the solar market. As I stand before you tonight, I don't want you to become a victim of that. And know that if you decide to invest in solar or solar system for your home or business, it does not eliminate your electric bill. And that's despite what others might tell you. Now, if you don't have a battery storage or a generator, your home will still consume utility supplied power at night or on cloudy days, during hot summer afternoons, during the storm season, and on those cold winter mornings just before sunrise, like what we've had for the last couple of weeks that Mr. Anderson referred to. But we've already covered the district growth, so let me move on. And so let's also talk about what's happening system-wide with SECO. In 2021, we added more than 5,700 new active services, and that growth level is good. It affects our financials in a very positive way. Now, given that we're still at the beginning of the year and we're still working on processing invoices and cleaning up things and finishing our audit, I'm going to give you some numbers about 2021 are very close estimates to how our financials fell in line for 2021. Starting with operating revenue. That was about $430 million, which was a $300,000 increase compared to our budget. Our purchase power expense, the largest expense that we have, that was $270.6 million, and it was $3.4 million over what we budgeted. Also note that purchase power makes up about 63 cents of every dollar that SECO spends. Now that number I just gave you is up 1% from 2020, which is quite substantial. See, the cost of power as a percentage of the revenue that we bring in, really, it fluctuates depending on the cost of natural gas, number one, and number two, the different times and ways that members use power. Those are the two things that can impact that number. But the difference between revenue and purchase power equates to what we call the gross margins. And that number was $159.5 million for 2021. Now that is a decrease of about $3.1 million from what we budgeted. And that's mostly attributed, going back again, to that wholesale power cost, which increased on us. Now the total expenses of $147.5 million were $2 million on the budget. That's even including what happened with the power supply. But the combination of higher gross margins, lower operating expenses, and additional non-operating revenues created a bottom line total margin of $24.1 million. And this is an increase of $4.7 million over our budget. The resulting tier level of 2.53 and member equity of 33.27% both reflect SECO's very solid financial strength. Now, this overall growth retains SECO's position as the third largest electric cooperative in the state of Florida and seventh largest nationally of about 800 distribution co-ops. Among our co-op peers, a growing infrastructure supporting over 220,000 metered accounts is extraordinary. To serve reliably, our system is home to 48 substations and 13,000 miles of line. At year-end 2021, SECO's investment in facilities to serve all of those members topped over $1 billion. And it continues to grow. Our ongoing investment in facilities averages just over $6 million every month. Now, as a not-for-profit cooperative, significant financial investments are made to serve new members and to improve service reliability to you, our current members. Growth throughout our region calls for an ongoing need to maintain existing facilities and expand meet the increasing power demands of our customers, our existing members. Now, this past year, SECO again returned capital credits to members. Assigning and returning margins to our members is what makes us different from all of the other utilities that serve electricity. And what we call it is the cooperative difference. Last November, with the approval of your Board of Trustees, SECO returned $6.46 million in capital credits to current and former members. Now, since the inception of SECO, we have returned over $80 million to our members. What this does is that it confirms that we're controlling costs, we're maintaining healthy equity, and returning excess margins like a true co-op should do. All at the same time, we're providing very competitive rates to you, the members. Now, in January, we were honored to learn that our 2021 American Customer Satisfaction Index, or the ACSI score, was released at a 91, making SECO a state and national frontrunner when compared to investor-owned and municipal utilities, as well as other cooperatives. For 2021, both the investor-owned and the municipal utilities averaged a score of 72. And the cooperative utilities that we compare ourselves against, their average score is 77. So you can see by the numbers that SECO's 91 far exceeds those of other utilities' customer satisfaction. And another rating in 2021, the J.D. Power survey. In that survey, SECO placed third in the nation among electric cooperatives with a score of 814, which is just 1 point from our record high, which was 815 in 2018. Now, we continue trying to earn your trust, to earn your satisfaction every day by improving our reliability and keeping our rates affordable. It is clear that there is a difference. There is a difference when serving members in a not-for-profit environment. And again, that difference that there is called the cooperative difference. Now, we pledge to provide you with the most reliable and lowest cost electricity possible while not losing sight of the high premium that you place on good, solid customer service. In closing, I want to extend my invitation to view our virtual 2022 annual meeting from the comfort of your home by using your phone, your tablet, or your desktop computer, as we bring this year's meeting to you via webcast. And that date is Thursday, March 24th, starting at 4:30 p.m. Be reminded, by keeping an eye on the SECO news and the official annual meeting notice in your next billing statement, to learn how you can vote on annual meeting business and be entered into our amazing prize drawings of golf carts, cash prizes, electronics, and more. The lucky winners will be announced at the end of the annual meeting webcast. Again, that's on Thursday, March 24th. And it will be posted on our website immediately following the meeting's conclusion. Now, prizes will be shipped or delivered to all of the winners. Now, since COVID precautions, again, prevent us from having and holding the large in-person meeting, you're welcome during the meeting to ask questions by using through our member engagement panel. We'll have that set up so that you can call in by phone, or you can email, or you can use social media to interact with us during the meeting. And I truly hope that you will tune in and engage when we have that meeting. So once again, let me close by thanking our Board of Trustees and also our great employees, our wonderful employees, dedicated employees, for their commitment to providing quality service on your behalf. I'm grateful for your attendance tonight, and I'm happy to field questions, and will rely on our senior staff members to assist me. But let me introduce them to come towards the front, and we'll be happy to answer any questions for you. First and newest on the team, I want to introduce Tracy Dilemmas, who is our Deputy Counsel. Tracy. John LaSalva. Tracy, who is our Vice President of Operations. Gene Kanakowski, our Chief Operating Officer. Mike White, our Vice President of Engineering. And last but certainly not least, Greg Morrell, our Vice President of Corporate Services and Human Resources. Let me just say, I am the new guy, but this team has been tremendous, and they have really shown their level of professionalism and expertise, and they have helped me out tremendously as a new person trying to get started. And I want to just thank them. Let's give them all another hand as we get prepared. Now, after the Q&A, I hope you have some questions. We have the mics here. Our cooperative attorney, Mr. Gherkin, is going to announce the voting results. And let me just thank you, Mr. Anderson and Mr. McLean, who both came forward with your willingness to serve on Seco Energy's Board of Trustees. Thank you for doing that. Now we'll take any questions that might be out in the crowd, so we look forward to getting those. Yes, ma'am, if you would come to the mic, or we can have someone bring it to you.
Hi, my name is Rita Leffler. I live in Mission Hills, which is at the corner of 466 and Morris Boulevard. Our neighborhood was on that Lake Elba line. You said there's a last bit of cable that still has to go in. When's that going to be done?
I'll turn it over to John LaSelva. He will give you that.
Okay.
Ma'am, first, I want to, as Mr. Wynn already said, I'm familiar with Mission Hills, so I'm the Vice President of Operations, okay? And my team back there are very familiar with Mission Hills.
Yeah,
and
we've gotten loud in the last
well,
several months. And
rightly
years.
so. So I want to apologize, like Mr. Wynn said, for our service. It's not what we provide to our members. So the last section of cable is not in your neighborhood. It is out, it's a section out in the golf courses by Rolling Acres Road.
Okay.
Right now, we moved Lake Ella 4. We split it up. Sim Cave is back there. He's our manager of the trouble office. And we moved part of Lake Ella. Lake Ella has 4,000 members on it. It's one of the largest feeders that we have. It has 79, at the time, it had 79 miles approximately of conductor on that feeder. That counts everything, services to all the houses. So, and in the 79 miles, 7 miles was overhead, which is very unique in the villages because most of the villages people are served totally underground. But on that feeder, 7 miles were overhead. So we have managed to move the overhead, most of it, except for about 1 mile, onto another feeder in Lady Lake. So that, to answer your question though, and the short answer is that underground cable is about 30% complete. It'll take probably 3 or 4 more weeks. The person overseeing that is back there too, Chris Ledford. So I brought my whole team here expecting if you had specific questions I can get. If I didn't know the answer, they did. But that's 30% complete. Like Mr. Wynn said, it's $1.3 million. It's a section of cable that was put in many years ago, direct buried, not in PVC. All of our cable now is in PVC, so that's being replaced. It's being directionally bored right now. So in 3 weeks, we should be done.
Okay, so in the, excuse me, in the future, we can have an entire 6 months with no blinking.
Well, that's that I can't guarantee, ma'am. Okay, so here's what our system does. Okay, our system is self-healing on the underground system, and for 4,000 members, that's difficult to understand. But if a transformer fails somewhere near your house, it won't affect your lights, but somebody else's just went out. Okay, now you will see a blink, but you don't see an outage. that will be a blank for those people who went out. So we're trying to minimize the number of members on that feeder, so that minimizes your opportunity for a blank.
But when you get 8 blanks
Right.
in 8 weeks, it's TV has to reboot, computer has to reboot, my Bose radio I have to redo again.
I understand.
You start doing that once a week, you get a little irritated.
Yeah,
But
and so
but you guys, I will say, you guys have been very, very attentive to our problem. You've listened to us. I understand you're now doing stuff to get us out of this, because it's frustrating for
yes,
me
ma'am.
that I've lived here 10 years. I've got people, I have neighbors or friends that live in Buttonwood. They live in Virginia Trace. When I talk to them about blinks, they have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yes, ma'am.
And to us, it's happened a lot.
Yes, ma'am. And we've already spent a lot of money to try to avoid it, and we're spending more. Ma'am, if I see anything, and my team knows it, the board knows it because they get my reports, Lake Ella 4, if anything happens on that feeder, ma'am, I hope that's not one of them. Lake Ella 4, we all, our hearts sink, ma'am,
Yeah.
because we're spending a lot of time. So every person that was in the parking lot today is expecting for a Lake Ella 4 person to talk to them because they've worked on Lake Ella 4.
Oh,
So every one of the people that are out there worked on Lake Ella 4 to prevent outages. So ma'am, I understand exactly what you're talking about. We're doing our best, and I hope in the next few months, you're not going to see a blank.
yeah,
okay.
me too.
Okay.
Well, I do appreciate you guys working on it and paying attention to it, but it would be nice to get it settled.
Yes, ma'am.
And we don't have to worry
Yes,
about it
ma'am.
anymore.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you. Are there other questions? Going once. Going twice. All right. Thank you all. And again, thank you. And at this time, I will turn the program back over to Attorney Gerken.
Thank you, Mr. Nguyen. And also, as has already been mentioned, we would like to thank our 2 candidates this evening, and thank you to the whole SECO family for running such a smooth election. With that, I am pleased to tell you that with 177 votes accounted for, your trustee for the next 3-year term for District 3 is Gerald Anderson. Congratulations. Congratulations, Mr. Anderson. Mhm. And unless there's any other business, the next thing would be adjournment. However, I would say, and I failed to do this last time, please hold on, because Amanda, after we adjourn, she will be announcing regarding the $25 bill credit drawings and going through all of that, so you'll want to stay for that if you'd like. No other questions? No hands in the air? I will entertain a motion to adjourn if someone is so inclined. Mr. Muffett, we have a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned, but please hang on for Amanda. Thank you.
Good evening. In the past, at the end of the district meetings, we have used the prize drawing ticket stubs to distribute $25 gift cards to the winners whose names were drawn. In the interest this year of limiting contact because of the COVID risk, what we're going to do is draw 25 names electronically for a $25 bill credit. So it's a random drawing. Everybody who registered is entered to win, whether it was inside or in the drive-thru. We'll announce the winners sometime this week, and we'll send those through your Storm Center preferences through text, email, or voicemail, and we'll send the news release link along with that. If you need to manage your communications preferences, you can go to our website at secoenergy.com and choose the Storm Center link and manage notifications. Thank you again for coming, and safe travels home tonight. And if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them. Thank you.